Happy Tuesday. Glad that we're here in Satsang. Um, you know, typically here uh, we come to get our monkey mind some rest. So, monkey mind, is a metaphor for restless and chattering mind that's constantly jumping from one thought to another. And this mental chatter is linked to overactivity in our brain in the default node network. We've talked about this before. The circuitry lights up when the mind is wandering, self-referencing, or replaying the past and worrying about the future. So when the default mode network is overactive, stress hormones rise, emotional reactivity spikes, and our ability to focus fragments. And that's how peace and productivity both go downhill. So idea is to, you know, through meditation, we basically try to tackle, this monkey mind. Um, so, drawing from the teachings of Panditji Maharaj, Pandit Mihilal ji, um, so he said the monkey mind basically, uh, you know, that monkey mind situation is caused by several things. And so some of those, the five senses in overdrive. So when sight, sound, smell, taste, or touch pulls us outward, the mind follows. And this sensory overload strengthens the default mode network's wandering tendency. So in satsang, we turn the attention inwards. So that's, take it in the reverse direction. The three energies, Sat, Raj, and Tam. So Sat being pure and uplifting energy supports clarity and light. Tam is heavy negative energy, pulls the mind into darkness, lethargy, negativity. Raj is the mix of the two, great for worldly progress, even spiritual progress, but too much of doing, disrupts the inner stillness. So basically, we want, so through satsang, we want the sat, the energy which supports clarity and light. We focus more on that. We go to calmer states. Another issue that pops up, which we are all very aware of, overpowering emotions. So anger, greed, lust, deep attachments, ego, all trigger, the brain into defensive or, modes where the attention narrows and, this basically it is a cloud that distracts us and takes us, into a non-calm, basically feeds into the monkey mind again. States of distress, worry, anxiety, grief, illness, pain, even lack of sleep reduces brain's capacity for sustained attention. Stress hormones interfere with the hippocampal function, making focus harder to maintain. And then there is another thing Panditji Maharaj pointed out, overactivity. So even too much of good deeds, so overactivity of any kind, doing too much can flood the mind with thoughts. So even intense study or service could lead to that. So, then he talks about silencing the mind. So there is, so he says there is verbal silence and then there is silence of the mind. So that's what we are here for. Let's get into it. Um, Eyes lightly closed and still and relaxed posture. And so both those things help us look inwards. So before trying to still our mind, let's get into the inward orientation of our mind. And then we concentrate and then go into deep meditation. That should lead to higher consciousness and higher awareness. So to start that process, let's think of the presence of this transcendental energy in form of light, and that light from a conscious source is coming into our heart, distributing throughout our body, and we're becoming completely and totally immersed in that light. If mind wanders away, bring it back to this thought and this thought alone, that this transcendental energy in form of light is entering our heart, enlightening it, and then it is going to every part of our body, and we are becoming the light. We are getting completely and totally immersed in this light. We'll start with music that helps concentration, and then music fades away. We go deep into silent meditation, and then we transition out to music again. Let's start now. नमस्कार ओंकार, रजत, महिमा जी, अनीता जी।
प्रणाम भैया।
नमस्कार। नमस्कार रेणु जी।
नमस्कार भैया सब।
प्रणाम भैया, सबको प्रणाम।
नमस्कार।
नमस्कार भाई साहब, सबको नमस्कार।
और कैसे हैं?
आपकी बुक पढ़ रही थी भाई साहब, वो तो बहुत अच्छे से लिखी हुई है। आई डोंट नो what
So
what can be added.
Rajat was suggesting like I think it's feels like a manual. So start start with a story, but that would be like that will be a lot of work.
बीच बीच में है, like in at least in the chapter assigned to me, there are stories in the middle about Barack Obama and Maya Angelou and
Yeah. Yeah. Omkar is saying manually चाहिए. So, yeah. Yeah, I think maybe what I mean, two things are going on. One is like, publish it, and then you can, in the talks, you can bring the stories. Or maybe a version two comes out quickly, which has some of that. But I think I was thinking about elaborating the workbook section of these chapters and, walking through these a little more to see if there is any immediate refinement that needs to be done.
are you looking to add more from the existing literature?
See, I think the challenge is the same with the stories that when you stick with certain, um, here is some research, here is some existing well known story, and here is some perspective. But then when you go a little deeper, then the demographics comes into the picture. One story will resonate with one set, one approach will resonate with another set. So I think that is one of the things to tackle.
But it's good in its current format. I think it is very balanced. It is very dense. वो जो बोल रहे हैं रजत भाई साहब, because there is a lot of,
yeah.
So even one page you can take a day to like read and absorb. But it has its own, like I think it is very well done. काफी मेहनत आपने डाली है इसमें. It's very good.
The way I am thinking is that the way it is right now, it can become a, uh, like a textbook the uh, to the class that I run. it's so it is a textbook from that perspective. It's like you do a coaching, you do a workshop, that so you pull in some of this information and then make this, palatable. But a more palatable book, I think, will be a little more deeper work. it is dense by design, because see what there are two things that I feel this book is doing. So one, I hear again and again that satsang is very easy, satsang is, for everyone. But the idea is that it is a process through which you should have a 360-degree wellness view. This should make you step back, look at what you need to fix, and then have self-discipline and self-management and courage to go after it and fix it. I think nobody's talking about that. And satsang is not about, I need to reach heights. Satsang is about, how do I live better? So how would I live better if I'm not fixing my mental ailments and physical ailments? And, uh, so that's one aspect. The other thing is that if we look at Panchkosh and if we look at how Guru Maharaj looked at the whole process of eventually going all the way to enlightenment, is that first develop mental skills, mental capabilities, mental power, mental strength. Use that to fix your physical resilience. So if you have the inner strength to fix your living style, habits which are not so healthy, then do that, right? So that's one use of the mental capabilities you have developed. The second one is become more self-aware through this process. So this mental resilience itself will take you to the next step of knowing yourself better. That's volume 3. So mental resilience first, physical resilience, and knowing yourself better are the volume 2 and 3. And then once you have done all of that, then you continue to grow through serving others. So that's volume 4. So I think it is, in a way, that's what a spiritual journey should look like. So the more I think about it, it's like, yes, it's a manual. Yes, it's a list of things that you need to fix. Or if not fix, you need to think about and identify where you're doing well and where you're not doing so well. So that's the entire map. So, across these 26 things which have like probably subjects. So the more I'm thinking about it, it's like spirituality is not about like just closing your eyes and look for higher awareness. It's like use that higher awareness that you get to become more aware about yourself, become more about yourself in the sense of what you're doing okay and what you're not doing okay, and then gather strength through the process itself and apply. And the reason I picked neuroscience is that, if mano mein se vigyan mein is like mind and then brain. So Ritambara Buddhi, or, the mental clarity that you will get is when the emotional regulation is in place. So it looks like the more the neuroscience knows the brain better, I think people should realize that meditation does a lot of those things that we're now figuring out, and there are still a lot of things that will be figured out. But at least tie it to what we now know. क्यों रजत?
हाँ संजीव भैया, absolutely. I mean, again, जैसे मैंने कहा था ना, it is wonderfully written, and जैसे अनीता भाभी कह रही थी, no, it is so evident. You have put in so much effort, and it flows. उसमें भी कोई वो नहीं है. मेरा तो बस इतना सा feedback था, and it wasn't कि you have to start with a story. It is just that you have to know the audience. राइट. तो किस पेस पे चलना है, मतलब द टाइम यू टेक टू गो फ्रॉम 0 to 100 शुड डिपेंड ऑन द ऑडियंस. तो अगर तो आप प्लान कर रहे हैं दिस बुक टू गो विथ पीपल हु ऑलरेडी यू नो will either be attending those sessions or
No, idea is that this becomes the backdrop, and then you talk, you coach, you do workshops with people, and you say, look at page so and so, and even do assessments, right? So from physical resilience, here are 15 things that matter, and let's identify the top 3 things that you need to fix.
क्या, तो उसके लिए तो बिल्कुल परफेक्ट है ये.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how initially I want to use it. And based on some of that interaction, we can figure out where to take it. There can be a book 2, or there can be a version 2 based on we want to fix the current stuff that we're talking about, or we take it to the next level. I mean, there is a lot more can be done. Actually, when I looked at the real stories section, and then Guru Maharaj's perspective, my experience, all that was to give it some color beyond just the mechanics. But going deeper than that, I think needs a lot more thought. So that can be done as step 2. Or it could be done in the talks. But it's a valid, feedback. Absolutely valid feedback. It's already something that I toyed with a lot. But and lot of TED Talks, for example, they start with a story, a very personal story. Stories are very powerful. So I think let's keep digging in. So Rajat has 1 chapter, you have 1. I think let's see if we can, if there is anything we can do or should do. We can meet on it specifically. All right. Let's meet again soon. Till then, love, light, and peace.
Namaskar, Bhai Sahib. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Pranam Bhaiya.
Namaskar, Renu ji, Rajat, Tom.